Well, rounding out today's lineup is David Ludwig, Community Programs Director at Asphalt Green. David is here to talk about Asphalt Green's community programs and the Big Swim, Big Kick event. Good morning, David.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, thank you. So, David, tell us about what does your organization do?
Sure. So, Asphalt Green is a nonprofit, and we're dedicated to bringing sports and fitness opportunities to as many New Yorkers as possible. That's our mission.
And tell us a little about the children that you serve. Where do they live? What are some of their obstacles to health and fitness and that they face in their communities?
Sure. Well, we run community programs in 4 of the 5 boroughs. We're not in Staten Island yet, but we're working on that. And we just try to get as many kids active as possible. And in the city, there's obstacles just around, access to pools and fields and places to be active. So that's where our programs come in, and we just make that happen for kids. And our programs are focused in certain areas of Brooklyn. We have partnerships in the Bushwick area and in Manhattan, Lower East Side, and Harlem, and in the South Bronx as well.
Great. Well, I had the opportunity to visit your site, your main site, on the East Side last year, and it's a really awesome building, actually, and some great programs there. What's the history with your building and facilities?
Yeah, it's really a one of a kind type of place. We have a 5.5 acre campus in the Yorkville neighborhood on the Upper East Side, and the city owns the land and the buildings, and we operate them and maintain them, and have our agreement is that we will provide these programs, free programs that I was mentioning, and so it's a really wonderful partnership, and it's the kind of relationship where the city is still very much invested in it, and we actually just were so pleased to have new pool filters provided by the city councilman Kalos, which is just an example of the kind of relationship. We run the programs, the city helps to maintain, so it's really beneficial for everyone.
It's hard to believe, but in 9 days it's going to be spring and summer's not that far off. Kids are going to start going to the pools. They're going to go to the beaches. You have a program called waterproofing. Tell us a little about it, and why should we and parents pay attention to this?
Sure. Well, our waterproofing program is our free Learn to Swim program for public school children, and what's great about it is they get to come as a class during the school day to one of, this year, 5 locations, and they get weekly swim lessons with Asphalt Green, and they really get a chance to learn the skill. And it's important because every year, you hear about some tragedy where a child drowns, and it's something that's completely preventable. And so, number one, we're working towards providing the opportunity for every child to learn that skill, which is just an essential skill, knowing how to swim. But as we go into the spring, I think, supervision is always first. So wherever you're at, if there's swimming involved, even if you are confident in your child's ability to swim, you want to make sure proper supervision is happening, because, it doesn't take very long. And so we all know that. So that's number one. And then number 2 is just to, follow the rules. And also if you have people in your family, child or adult, who haven't learned to swim, it's never too late, and seek out opportunities and make it happen. And, you'll be happy, because it's a wonderful activity that helps keep you active. It's a lifelong activity that everyone should have.
Yeah, I didn't learn to swim until I was in college. I took a college class, and I lived by a lake, and I went into that lake every summer, and I'm just shocked that I didn't, drown. I mean, it's just, dog paddling only lasts you, only gets you so far. And so, it's a really important issue. Like you said, children drown every summer because their parents kind of think the same thing as, oh, you'll figure it out, or you'll dog paddle it out. But it's, it's a very dangerous situation. And I believe that there are higher rates of childhood drowning in African American and Hispanic communities, right? Yeah,
the rates are much higher. And I think it really comes down to access, just the access to pools, especially if you're living in the city and there's just less access to the water. And so that's where we come in with an effort like waterproofing to make it accessible for people. And this year we are really celebrating the progress that the kids make and the program with a special event that we call the Big Swim, Big Kick. And it's open to anyone. Children 6 to 10 can come, and it's on Saturday, April 29th at Asphalt Green. And it's a free swim meet, and kids can come and swim across and race and kind of test their skill. And it's just a really fun time. And we also have a soccer carnival because we have a lot of soccer programming as well. So it's really a celebration of physical activity. So I would encourage anyone who's interested to come check it out. Registration's open on our website, and it's free, and it's just a great time. So
you said the kids can come and take swim lessons that day?
No, it's a race. It's a real swim meet.
It's a race. Okay.
So, yeah. Yep. So this is celebrating swimming and just having a great time. And there's Olympians, and there's also a soccer event, which is kind of like a soccer festival. We can come try different types of activities, and so we have a field and a pool. You can come do it all, and it's just a really, really fun day for everyone.
You're listening to David Ludwig of the Asphalt Green. Your organization runs a program called Recess Enhanced Program at I believe 61 schools citywide. Tell us a little bit about these enhancement programs and what are you trying to accomplish?
Sure. So recess is actually a critical time of the day for kids, and it's a long school day, and they've got a lot to learn. And getting a chance to take that 25 minutes to get active is essential, just to get them in the right state of mind to learn afterwards when they go back to class. And so our program sends coaches out to these schools to facilitate play and make sure, just try to maximize physical activity. So, for instance, about a third of recess periods could be held indoors just due to weather in New York City. And we help the schools come up with strategies, teach games that work in small spaces, and just try to maximize the chance for as many kids as possible to get active. And it makes a huge difference.
Wow, that's such a great idea, not only because of rain days, but so many schools are getting their physical education programs budgets cut, right? So it sounds like a great way. Now, how do you choose the schools that participate, and is it something that if other schools are interested, would you have the ability to work with them?
Well, yeah, there's an application process which starts, like early spring every year, and we want to make sure that the school is motivated to work with us on implementing some of the best practices around getting kids active during recess. It takes a little bit of work and planning, and so they can apply, and every year we take a look at those schools, and we go from there. So yeah, it's more information on our website, just asphaltgreen.org, and we take it from there.
So the City Watch this week is dedicating the show towards Women's History Month. We had some great guests earlier, Lori Cumbo, Councilwoman, talking about women. One of your programs, your community sports leagues, we're really curious as to how you're focusing this on middle school girls and how we can use sports and activities to empower our young ladies and women in the city to get involved and to stay, and become leaders in the city.
Sure, yeah. Well, if you've ever played a sport and been part of a team, you know that it's one of the most valuable kind of chances to just learn about yourself and to learn, how to compete and how to win with grace and how to lose with dignity and all of that. And for students, for middle school kids, and for girls especially, we want to make sure they have that opportunity to kind of learn through sport. So with our community sports leagues, we serve about 750 middle school kids every year, primarily from Harlem, and they get a chance to be part of a team. Right now, we're doing our basketball season, and we have a bunch of teams from schools in Harlem, and it's really nice. They get to represent their school and help build school pride and also get that experience as playing a sport. So it's really wonderful.
So right now it's basketball. Does it go with the seasons? Like, what are the other sports that the girls can participate in?
Sure. So we actually do flag football in the fall that we start off with, and we have we do always have girls that play, although it's mostly boys in that season. And then right now we're doing a girls' league and a boys' league in basketball. And then in the spring we do a girls' league for soccer and a boys' league for soccer.
Oh, okay. Well, when you want to open a tennis one, you can call on me.
Okay. You got it. That'll be next. That's the next sport.
Okay. So, on sort of almost on the other side, or on the other side of the age spectrum, Asphalt Green also has a free fitness program for local senior center members, which sounds great. And I guess one of the goals is to reduce the risk of falling, which is such a major issue for seniors. So, what's that program, and what's the approach, and how can people, do you know which senior centers are involved?
Sure. Yeah, this is actually a program that I'm so excited about because we're working hard on expanding it. But we partner with a few different senior centers in East Harlem. So we work with Union Settlement, we work with Stanley Isaacs, and we work with the Carter Burden Center for the Aging. They have a center called the Leonard Cavello Senior Center. And we've been working closely with seniors on a variety of different exercise initiatives. And the amazing thing is if you have someone who might be in their mid-70s who hasn't been active, and you provide specialized exercises for them, say minimum twice a week for 10 weeks or so, if they stick with that, the benefits that they experience are really amazing because they gain range of motion and they gain confidence and strength, and all of a sudden their quality of daily life just skyrockets, and it's really amazing to see. And so that's what we focus on, and certainly preventing falls is a huge benefit of that. The costs to New York State, I think, for hospitalizations are $1.7 billion a year, and most of that falls to the public dollar. So we really have a problem, and as the baby boomers continue to, that population continues to age, it's just going to keep getting to be more and more of an issue. So we're really working on scaling up to meet it.
So right now, the city council in New York is debating, cuts to city budgets and allocations. The state's doing it. We're all worried about federal defunding of programs. But you're on the front lines watching kids and seniors as they deal with issues. Putting the face on the programs, the kids that you deal with, what does it really mean to them when you interact? Who are, as we asked in the beginning of this, who are these kids? Tell us a story of how you've seen this transform people's lives and why it's so important to keep funding these types of programs.
Yeah, there are so many stories that I hear from our staff every day. So we have kids who in the swimming program who were afraid to get into the water. They'd never been in the water before, and by the end of the program for that year, they can swim across the pool, and their teachers say the confidence has just spilled over to all these other areas, socially, academically, and so that's one example. With the recess program, we have a history of being able to reach that kid on the playground who's really causing all the problems. We our coaches look out for those kids and give them a little bit of responsibility, and a lot of times they respond so well to that and end up being helpers and leaders in disguise, so to speak, and we kind of bring that out in them. And I talked about sports leagues and that experience and how important it is to just for your personal development. And then so really across our programs, I think sports and fitness is a real gateway to some of this personal development stuff that's just crucial experiences, to develop as a person. And so they're vitally important. And I think that here in New York, the people that are involved in making those happen on a daily basis are really banding together. And we're not gonna let them fall off and disappear.
Well, David, thank you so much for joining us. Such great programs and services you provide to the community and to city residents.
Sure, and just one last reminder to come celebrate with us on April 29th at the Big Swim, Big Kick at Asphalt Green. You can register online on our website.
Great. Have a good weekend.
You too. Thanks so much.